Hi everyone, this is Kyle, and I'm going back to Snow White here, and how they released this first look at Snow White as they're announcing that they're delaying the movie by a full year. And this is a first look at the Seven Dwarfs. Boy, the CGI in this looks pretty bad. Although, Grant, I have heard that it takes quite a bit of work to make CGI look as real as possible. It takes quite a bit of work, quite a bit of time, so maybe this isn't quite finished yet. But these are your dwarfs that Disney released about a week ago now, and few months ago this was reported 7 dwarves for the movie. Originally these were going to be the 7 dwarves, or I guess they were going to change them to the 7 bandits because Peter Dinklage made some comments. I mean, essentially the big thing that I wonder in all this is what the hell is going on? I have my guesses, of course, and I'm sure you do too. Now, Disney, they announced that they're delaying the movie by a full year, and they're saying it's due to the actor strikes. And sure, I mean, that could be a reason why they're delaying it. But if any of you have been following this, there is so much controversy around this movie. You know, again, this was your first look at the 7 dwarves, or the 7 bandits, or whatever. Yeah, they cast Rachel Zegler. She is Colombian, and, you know, Snow White, it's a German fairy tale where Snow White's described as having skin white as snow, so you could say they did a bit of a race swap here, probably for no other reason than to virtue signal or use their diversity as a shield against any criticism of the movie. A lot of people are not happy with some of the things that Rachel Zegler has said in some interviews, where essentially she was disrespecting the original Snow White movie, calling it dated, calling the prince a stalker. That pissed a lot of Snow White fans off. Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, they've been emphasizing that Snow White is not going to be saved by the prince, and that she's going to be a strong, fierce girl boss, queen leader, or something like that. You know, they're going to be making changes to the original Snow White. You know, they're modernizing it, so to speak, and that's making a lot of people unhappy too. A lot of fans of the original Snow White. You know, in today's day and age, you can't have a woman be rescued by a man anymore. That's toxic and misogynist. You can't have a female character be anything less than a strong woman, girl boss, or whatever term you want to use for that. So yeah, there's a lot of controversy around this movie. Now, all these things that Rachel Zegler has said in interviews, to my knowledge, they're not making any changes there. I mean, I have no idea at this point, but these right here were reportedly the original 7 dwarfs. Well, stand-ins for the original 7 dwarfs, which, I mean, these people look like hippies. I mean, Disney originally reported that these images weren't real, not from the actual set, but then I guess they walked back on that. Turns out these are actually from the Snow White set, and these were stand-in actors, but this was what the 7 dwarves were going to look like, or the 7 bandits, and that made a lot of people mad. And then suddenly, a few months later, Disney announces that they're going to delay the movie, and they release this first look, and suddenly we have actual 7 dwarves. I mean, it looks like they made a pretty big change here. And this is interesting, folks. And I did a video on this a week ago, and I said it looks like they're changing some things. It looks like Disney is panicking. I don't know 100% certainty, of course, but that's what it looks like. And there are some people out there saying that this sort of thing, this is an absolute win for Snow White fans, or this is a win for fans. It looks like Disney's listening to its critics or its fans. And that very well might be true. I mean, right now, at this point, from what I see, I don't know if I can really argue against that at all. Now, I'm not an expert on the whole process of making movies and the time frame and how long each step takes. But what I do know is that this photo here came out 4 months ago, about 4 months ago, 3.5 months ago, something like that. And then this first look comes out, you know, 3-4 months later. And again, I'm wondering what on earth is going on. I mean, common sense tells me that people absolutely had a field day with these pictures that came out. They were making fun of it, and then a few months later, Disney releases this picture right here. Now, I bet you if you ask Disney, they'll probably say this is what the dwarves were always going to look like, and who knows, I mean, maybe this was what they were always going to look like. I doubt it. Maybe these 7 bandits are also going to be in the movie. I kind of doubt that too. But me, I'm just an average peasant. I don't have any inside information or anything like that. All I can do is use my common sense here. And again, I'm not an expert on the whole process of movie making, but when I use my common sense here, this is one question I wonder. Why would Disney release this picture during an announcement that they're delaying the movie by a full year? I mean, if this has happened before, please tell me, but this doesn't really make that much sense to me. They try to release a picture trying to get people interested in the new Snow White movie, and then they say, oh, and by the way, we're delaying it by a full year. It's now not coming out for another year and a half. Or a year and 4 months. I mean, that kind of doesn't add up to me. I mean, common sense tells me that in this case with the dwarves, this was probably what the dwarves were originally going to be. People did not respond too well to this, and Disney kind of panicked, and then they decided, okay, we need to change that. And then they delay the movie, and then they release this picture. I mean, common sense tells me that this is an attempt to kind of weather all the criticism that's been thrown at this live action remake. And again, a lot of Snow White fans out there, a lot of people out there, they're saying this is a win for fans. This is a sign that Disney's listening to their fans. And you know, I don't think I can argue that at all. At least in this case here. But one thing I wonder, if they are changing the Seven Dwarfs, and this is the new Seven Dwarfs right here, are they going to be changing anything else to the movie? Because again, they're delaying the movie by a full year. I mean, that to me seems like quite a bit of time to make a few changes that may have been badly received by audiences. Now, a lot of people, they don't like the actress who's starring as Snow White, Rachel Zegler. I mean, she's not going to get fired from the movie. I mean, the movie's already been shot, I'm assuming. Unless maybe they have a reshoot still to do. And this picture, you know, here she is clearly in this picture. But do you think they might be making some other changes? Like, for example, Rachel Zegler saying that Snow White's not going to be dreaming about true love. Instead, she's going to be becoming a leader and that sort of thing, which does not match the original Snow White movie. And that stuff was badly received by fans. Do you think Disney might try to change their story a little bit between now and March of 2025. I'm not saying they are. It's something I'm wondering. You know, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, them emphasizing that Snow White's not going to be saved by a prince. I mean, they really emphasize that. Do you think they might be making a little change there? I mean, Disney and Hollywood, they have such an obsession over all this modern day messaging that they've been doing lately. I kind of think they're not going to be making any changes to the Snow White storyline, but if they're making a change here to the Seven Dwarfs, and they're also delaying the movie by a full year, which I think gives them quite a bit of time to make some changes to a movie that is buried in controversy, a movie that so far has pissed a lot of Snow White fans off. If they have indeed made at least one change to the Snow White movie, I wonder if they're going to be making some other changes too. Possible. I mean, if you look at Disney lately, I mean, they've been pushing all this current day type of stuff into their movies, and literally every movie Disney's been making lately, it's been flopping. And I mean, they really haven't had a movie come out the last couple of years that's actually made money. I mean, some might have broken even, but that's really the best Disney's been able to do for the most part. I mean, Disney's been losing money lately, and I know their shareholders, they've been getting a little restless about that. There's been talk about Disney having to sell some properties off, and I wonder if the people at Disney behind closed doors, they're saying, yes, we do want to push all of our messages into all of our movies, but you know what? We've been releasing one flop after another. We can't really afford to double down on any of this nonsense anymore. I mean, we've been doing real bad lately, and this new Snow White movie that we're making, the forecast isn't looking very good so far. A lot of people are mad about it, and with the amount of flops we've had lately, we can't really afford it anymore, and so we gotta make changes. I wonder if they're thinking that behind closed doors. I don't know, you guys let me know what you think here. Maybe there's something one of you guys know that I don't. I haven't seen any news come out on Snow White since this announcement that they're delaying the movie and this first look here. I haven't heard any explanation from Disney or anything. I mean, if I missed something, please point it out to me. I mean, I'm just an average peasant on YouTube.com. I'm not an expert on the whole process of movie making. I don't have any inside information or anything, but my common sense tells me that Disney behind closed doors is panicking. They see how the early leaks of their movie or set photos or whatever have been received by fans. They see how many Snow White fans are not happy with the direction of their movie, and they decided we gotta delay the movie by a full year. That way they can make a few changes to it to try and to weather the storm among Snow White fans. And why would they release a first look on this new movie when they're delaying it by a full year? Some people out there say that they're listening to fans. Some people are saying that this is absolutely a win for fans. I mean, in this regard right here, I mean, I don't think I can disagree with that at all. And you guys let me know what you think here. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could consider hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Take care until then.